forward to the speed round voting here in just a moment, but we have one last presentation. We have Alex from OneID. Very interesting looking technology that we saw through some of our demo rounds, and so we're excited to have him up here to show it to all of you.
Great, thank you. I'm Alex Doll, CEO of OneID. We're a next generation digital identity system. We're thrilled to be working with the credit union market. We're the newest member, announcing a multi-year agreement with CUNA Strategic Services just yesterday. Our goal with digital identity is to rid the world of usernames and passwords, or member names and passwords as they're called out for this group. Making your members' online life more convenient and secure at the same time. We do this with a single member account that embodies the best elements of leading social networks for login, e-commerce sites from friction removal, and mobile internet capabilities for enhanced member usability. For the credit unions, we work with your existing platforms and bring very modern, we don't replace your platform, we're an enhanced login and an enhanced form fill utility that works with your existing platforms. The old way of identity, we all know, usernames and passwords. On the upper left, we've spent decades trying to educate users. Are you a yellow tab person? You put your passwords in an Excel file. Maybe you take the 3rd, 7th, and 11th letter of the URL, and if you're really sophisticated. The problem with this is all of the websites are identity providers. You as a credit union through your platforms are identity providers. OneID imagines a world where we remove shared secrets. So shared secrets are, of course, the target of all the data breaches that we're seeing in the world. So we took a step back and said, what would you do if you could design an authentication and an authorization system for a world that presumed the presence of 1 million smartphones, could presume persistent cloud? And last year, our founder, the inventor of InfoSeek, paired together with some gentlemen from Cisco who have expertise in large-scale internet success like domain keys and spam, invented OneID. OneID's security model quickly derives from 3 distributed keys, 2 of which we put on your members' devices, one in their mobile phone and one in their phone. The 3rd one is in our cloud. Let's take a look. So I'm going to show you first when a user walks up to OneID for the first time today, they prove to the device who they are. I'll simply walk up and tap. I am now logged in for the day on this device. That looks kind of simple. Tapping, not typing is one of our mantras. So when I go to a credit union, so this is our one federal credit union, and I go to sign in, the credit union has put a simple piece of JavaScript. This can be done in minutes to hours. This isn't months and weeks or a platform swap. This can be done quickly. I tap on the sign in button, select my name, and I'm logged in to the credit union. Say I want to do something like transfer funds. So I'm going to do $123.45 here. Just proceed. For something that requires, that looks real simple, tap in a browser. For something that requires enhanced authentication, we take advantage of the mobile device. I mentioned those 3 keys. So here you see transaction-specific, site-specific information that the user has to put in. In this case, I've asked to require a PIN. I'll tap in my PIN. This is my OneID PIN that works everywhere. And voila, the transaction goes through. Let's say I want to do, so that's authentication and identity. One of the other things we do for users and members across the internet is enhanced form fill. So Amazon one-click-like functionality. We have a product called AccuFill. So normally when forms come up and your members are trying to get to a credit card or trying to fill out an application, it takes them a lot of time to fill out forms. But with our AccuFill product, I simply tap the button and I have submitted a credit card application at the credit union. Now I'll fast forward through your approval process. Let's say this happens in days, weeks, months, whatever, years. At the core of OneID, how we populate that single account, the user is in control. So you'll see I just picked a note and I'm going to populate this credit union Visa card into my OneID account and be able to use it across the internet. It's very important that the user is in control of the data. We are not like other social login places or other internet utilities that their main goal is advertising, collecting data on your members, collecting data about your members' activities and trying to sell ads. OneID puts the user at the center of the entire identity experience. So you see here, I've populated my credit card into my OneID account. So I'm now leaving the credit union. I'm going to go to a quick look at what a OneID control panel. So this is the user's personal cloud or wallet, if you will, that contains all of their username and password information, contains information about their credit cards. You can see here I'll make the default card my credit card from the OneID credit union. I also have multiple ship to and built to addresses, very Amazon best practices in e-commerce like experience. We also have in here a whole host of controls for users. One of the questions we get a lot is, what if I lose a phone? What if I lose a device? That's one of the 3 most common security threats on the internet today. We give users the ability to go in and set a lost device as soon as it's known to a locked state. So we have a sliding scale of authorization that allows users to configure whatever they need for the right level of transactions. 90, 95, 99% of users' transactions don't require out-of-band or enhanced authentication. But you don't need a different identity system and a different authentication mechanism for those transactions that do. Lastly, I mentioned the benefits to the users across the web. So OneID is usable at any OneID site across the whole internet. So this is a tremendous value to the user. It removes friction and it gives them great utility. So I'm going to go to this store here, this lovely Magento store, and buy my mom a Medina bib necklace here. I'm going to add this to the cart, and you'll see I'm going to simply tap 3 buttons, and I have purchased with OneID. You'll note in the bottom left the Visa card from my credit union. I place the order and I'm through. So all without tapping, without using a keyboard. I have logged into multiple sites. I have made myself immune from the 3 most common attacks on the internet, and I've reduced friction for myself using mobile and cloud. Thank you.
Nice job. Do we have any questions for OneID?
We do. Can the credit union brand this with their name and logo?
We've been asked that. I think that will be a configuration or a model that we will absolutely be willing to talk to you about. Yes.
And what is your stance on data privacy for the members?
So we are a very extreme privacy-centric and identity-centric position. It's actually quite similar to the position that the credit unions carved out in the financial industry, members first. Most of the technology industry has an ulterior motive with privacy data and user data. They're aggregating data to sell it. Facebook, Connect, Amazon, other things. They're trying to sell you things. They're trying to sell ads about your users. OneID, because of our 3 protocols, OneID cannot see user data. We don't know where the user has logged in and not logged in. And all we have is a big encrypted cloud with one of the 3 keys. The other 2 keys for every user are in their control. Therefore, no user data is even able to be used anywhere other without the user's permission.
Can you briefly describe how the back-end solution works?
So it's JavaScript onto your web. If you roll your own website or your own mobile platform, it's a simple implementation for login, form fill, are all slightly different options. You can see it at developer.oneid.com. A skilled website coder can do it in hours. For the rest of us, it may be a couple days or weeks to set expectations. Part of that depends on how you want to use it and what systems you want to use. You know, if you have loyalty systems, you have different mobile and internet platform, you may need to put it in a couple places. It depends a little bit on your usage and configuration. But days and weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.